Oh, can it, Ghost Rider?
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This will be my full Creature Commandos Episode 7 finale video. There are a whole bunch of Easter eggs and references and a bunch of Season 2 stuff that James Gunn has been talking about. It's sort of how this connects to the wider DCEU and all the live-action movies and TV shows, like the Superman movie, like that big Batman cameo scene showing us our first look at the DCEU version of Batman that we'll see in Batman Brave and the Bold in the Justice League, like the new version of The Flash, Wonder Woman in the DCU. So we'll break it all down and what's going on with like the future of the DCU heading after this into Season 2 and the other live-action shows that we're going to be seeing next, like Peacemaker Season 2, then the Green Lantern series. I'll be doing episode videos for all that stuff, and obviously a lot more Superman videos later this year too, so be sure to subscribe to get everything. The episode title was A Very Funny Monster, a reference to the princess calling the bride a funny monster when she figures out the truth of what the princess has been doing this whole time and confronts her with it, then killing her. So R.I.P. Princess, but also big episode for Nina in all of her flashbacks. Very, very tragic. James Gunn said that this episode was meant to be one of the most tragic episodes of the series, and he was not wrong. They used the episode to explain Nina's backstory the same way they've done for each of the different team members in different episodes. But obviously a big part of the episode was also dedicated to wrapping up the princess arc, but also setting up Season 2, especially at the end there. That's what that tag scene with the new version of the team is meant to be a teaser for, Season 2. If you didn't see the news, it was renewed for Season 2 over the Christmas holiday. James Gunn literally released this teaser that the production crew actually made for him as a gift for Season 1 to sort of hype up Season 2. Probably one of the biggest tragedies of Nina's story during the episode is, as the bride says, she was meant to be the best of all of them, but died in the most senseless way possible because everybody was so confused about what was really going on and the actual truth of the matter. The episode starts with Nina's mother giving birth to her. She's born with a number of birth defects. Her father, Dr. Mazursky from the comics, transforms her into the aquatic creature later, which does allow her to survive, but in the radically altered body, setting up the beginning of her very, very tragic life, trying to just exist in the world. During the brand new version of the James Gunn intro scene that they keep changing episode to episode, this time he's writing the actual post-credit scene with Frankenstein and this old woman who we saw earlier on the series, paying off all the jokes and probably the more tragic references to him in the flashbacks where he killed the old gypsy woman who nursed him back to health and then he thanked by killing her. Maybe if they learned that the show was going to be renewed for Season 2 when they were animating this particular intro scene, they would have had him writing scripts for Season 2. But then this Frankenstein joke transitioning to Frankenstein in the episode simping over the bride in the back of the car, with the whole joke of him forcing that poor guy to drive him to the castle. He arrives just in time to see her and the others infiltrating the castle, blowing their cover. Nina wondering if they're killing the princess for no reason is just meant to set the tragic ending of the episode with the actual reveal that the princess really was evil and they really should have killed her. So in effect, killing the princess was not meaningless, it was very, very important that they do that. The bride winds up saving the world from World War III, even though she claims that's not the reason why she killed the princess. She did it because the princess killed her friend. Dr. Phosphorus finds the video records of Clayface plotting with the princess, explaining that the original doctor who was there to verify Cersei's visions of the future was the actual real doctor, and Clayface only killed her and replaced her after that, hoping to get close to Amanda Waller and eventually discredit Cersei. Until Flagg and Frankenstein took him out. But the way the episode progresses, it's only the bride herself that actually pieces all the evidence together, then comes back at the end of the episode and tells Amanda Waller the real truth. Everybody else up to that point, including Rick Flagg, Amanda Waller, and everybody else on the team that wasn't the bride, believed the princess's lie that she wanted them to believe that she was innocent. That was why Amanda Waller tried to stop the assassination as it was happening. Because she didn't learn the truth because she hadn't seen the Clayface footage on the CCTV. The bride had to come back and then tell her after the fact, like, oh, by the way, I killed the princess because of the CCTV footage. She was lying to us, plotting with Clayface the whole time. Cersei was telling the truth. The bride shoots Frankenstein, winds up double tapping him later very unceremoniously. Love the way that she did that too, like she just walks past him without breaking step. But even bigger deal than this, she makes a huge Marvel reference calling Dr. Phosphorus Ghost Rider, meaning that Marvel is now canon to the DCU because everything on the show, like all the animated shows, are canon to the live-action movies and the TV shows, meaning that anything they mention, characters they introduce, are canon to live-action movies and TV shows. So you have to imagine that during the Superman movie, for example, there are like little kids running around on the planet in the background with Marvel comic books, Marvel movies, Marvel merchandise, and toys, in addition to all the usual merch that everybody would be selling based on in-universe superheroes like Superman himself. Like there are little kids running around in the DC universe wearing Superman's logo on their t-shirts. I think the reason why the show can get away with this, like canonizing Marvel to the DCU, is because you rarely, if ever, see any actual Marvel logos or merchandise or characters from Marvel inside live-action DC movies, like you won't see them in the Superman movie. And because this is an animated project where they're making this huge reference, for some reason lawyers tend to worry less about animated stuff like this than if it were live action, like if somebody were referencing Marvel in the Superman movie, which they probably will not. There's also the fact that James Gunn just came from doing all the Marvel movies, and Kevin Feige is a big fan of DC and James Gunn, so he's not going to go after James Gunn and try to sue him or anything like that for this. If you watch any of my Flash videos over the years for those episodes, they reference Marvel constantly on the Flash TV show.
Oh my god, you're like the Incredible Hulk. That's...
My spidey sense is just tingling way off the charts.
You're trying to turn me into Spider-Man.
Have you not seen Spider-Man 2?
For all the Ghost Rider fans out there, though, Marvel is bringing him back soon, and supposedly they're developing a Ghost Rider TV show that'll release sometime after Secret Wars, so whenever we hear about that, I'll do separate videos when it's relevant. But it is funny to hear them reference all this Marvel and Disney stuff inside a DC project. We get another Nina flashback to her early life before the Doctor transformed her DNA using a machine to help her breathe, sort of setting up that she had the worst mother in the DC universe, like worst mother of 2025, and it's only January. Basically saying that they should have let her die when she was a baby, and they should kill her now, and then leaves the family. Like, I'm bailing on you guys. Everybody boo that woman. We see more flashbacks of her getting slightly older till the Doctor transforms her body into its amphibian mermaid-like state. This is actually meant to be a reference to the comics too. In the comics, the difference is that she did it to herself, but she always started as a normal human, transforming her body into a metahuman. They reference mutating her DNA during this, but because we're in the DC comics, it's meant to be metahumans, not mutants. There are a couple of funny bits from the rest of the team here too, even though this is mostly meant to be a Nina and a Bride episode for the most part. Love how ready Dr. Phosphorus is to kill Weasel on a dime, like, oh, he's gonna blow our cover, why don't we just go ahead and kill him, let's put him down right now. We get more flashbacks to Nina trying to go to regular school, to socialize with regular kids, mostly to set up the fact, like everybody knows this, everybody around the planet, little kids are the cruelest, meanest group of people you will ever encounter in your entire life. Little kids at school will make fun of you for literally anything. Even if she didn't look like a mermaid, they would have found a reason to make fun of her. In present day, the frog croaking is later meant to pay off all the children's taunts, forcing her to ribbit putting frogs inside her locker. Rick Flagg wakes up, tells Amanda Waller about Clayface, and remember, they still believe the wrong thing, that the princess is innocent. It's not till the end of the episode, with the full context of the Clayface video, that the bride puts everything together. We get more Nina flashbacks. I can't quite tell who all are posters of. These are mostly pop stars and bands from the 90s. Like, I think this is definitely a Nirvana poster with the smiley face. I think there's some Rage Against the Machine here too. Let me know if you think you spotted some specific album covers here. She winds up running away from home, thinking that it's going to be better for her and her father, leading eventually to his death and her capture, which is basically how she wound up with Amanda Waller at Belle Reve. In present day, the bride tries to get her to try and kill the princess, which is a terrible idea. Even though she does have the ability to physically breathe underwater, she has zero experience killing people, which is basically what leads to her death because she's not experienced as an actual fighter. That's how the princess is able to wrestle the knife away from her and kill Nina with it. There are a couple big references too. They mentioned that she lived in Star City, which is where Green Arrow is from. We saw it for many seasons in the Arrowverse on the Arrow TV show. They mention Metropolis and Bloodhaven, Metropolis being Superman City. We see it throughout the Superman trailer. Most of the movie is probably going to take place there. Bloodhaven is meant to be where Nightwing is from in the comics. Then when Nina goes to kill the princess, Weasel flips out having a PTSD flashback, confusing the memories of the little girl he tried to save and failed to, who died in the past, with memories of the princess playing with him. There were a lot of you in my previous videos too who were like, do they want the princess to be that little girl that he tried to save, like maybe she survived? No, they were just setting up this twist where Weasel confused the two, thinking that they were the same person, so that he would blow their cover, leading to Nina's death. They basically want to show you that had Weasel not blown their cover, Nina would have actually been able to stab her. It probably would have been successful before Amanda Waller could warn the bride to stop. So if you really want to blame someone for Nina's death, blame Weasel, just like Dr. Phosphorus, who really wants to kill him now. For a couple different reasons though. So R.I.P. Nina, she didn't have to die. Then in the aftermath of the castle, the bride starts to piece everything together, leading to her killing the princess. There's a couple other interesting side details here too. Notice that Weasel is able to injure Dr. Phosphorus, so he can be injured, he's not invincible, and he doesn't regenerate instantly like you think he might. When the bride goes to confront the princess, I can't read the text on her document. I think the document also contains more evidence that she was lying to them the whole time too, so if you think you can translate it, post what it says in the comments. All of her different books are meant to be references to the ways that she tried to mislead people through the series. Don Quixote should be an obvious one. Wuthering Heights is a book that's mostly about class struggle. Jacques the Fatalist features a lot of themes of deception, as in the princess deception during the actual series. Then the princess says the name of the episode in the episode, calling the bride a very funny monster for confronting her with all this. Mary Shelley is meant to be a bit of a deep cut reference to a couple different things, most notably to Frankenstein's monster and the bride herself, because they are from Mary Shelley canon. But the actual Matilda book is mostly meant to be about Mary Shelley's real life, writing about her own father's very wrong kind of romantic love for her, his daughter, that might be a callback in the episode to the princess seducing the older man, Rick Flagg. Like a very weird age gap, wrong kind of thing. But the act of writing the Matilda book was also Mary Shelley's way in real life of getting over the recent deaths of her 1-year-old child and her 3-year-old son. So in the episode, I think it's also meant to be a reference to the bride dealing with the loss of her only friend Nina by killing the princess in revenge. Revealing that Circe, a villain from the Wonder Woman comics, was telling the truth the whole time. So I think like a lot of traditional Suicide Squad stories, they want the monsters to feel like they come off better than the actual humans, like the humans are more monstrous than the monsters themselves. Then she makes another Disney reference, calling her an evil Disney princess, killing the princess, R.I.P. So now we know that Disney is also canon to the DCEU. Quickly getting the rest of the team to leave the castle before the guards learn what she's done. Not totally sure who this random American businessman is, but might be someone connected to Amanda Waller because of all the interest that America has in taking the oil from this country, which they can now do way more easily because the princess is out of the way. That was the whole true goal at the beginning of the series. America, Amanda Waller, wanted the oil from this country. There's a brief time jump with her coming back, telling Amanda Waller what was really going on with the princess and why she killed her, with the idea that Amanda Waller is rewarding her for a job well done by giving her her own wing of Belle Reve Prison for Task Force M, as in monster, like the actual creature Commandos, which is a big teaser for Season 2. Filling the missing spots on their roster with a couple new characters and a couple characters they brought back that I was pretty sure they would bring back, like G.I. Robot. But pretty much everybody that survived from Season 1 will be back in Season 2. I don't know what they plan to do for Rick Flagg because Frank Grillo is going to be in the Superman movie next, then Peacemaker Season 2, so he might not come back for Season 2, but he also might. They also might bring back Amanda Waller, but I'm pretty sure that John Economos and other Peacemaker characters that still work for Argus will come back for Season 2. To fill out the missing spots on their roster, there's Nosferatu, who we saw earlier on the series. She's from the Superboy comics. She is a vampire, basically. The Mummy is actually the second version of Kali from the comics, who is also part of the Shade team in the Creature Commandos in the comics. So this is just basically like them doing more Creature Commandos characters that they haven't done yet. He's basically a revived mummy who has super strength, enhanced physical attributes, but he can also channel magic blasts through his staff, which he doesn't have here in this shot, but he can also regenerate himself. We get the Hulkbuster version of G.I. Robot, who just looks way more swole, way more deadly. Gonna kill so many more Nazis next season. And of course, we get the King Shark tag scene, setting him up for Season 2, but it's actually Dietrich Bader doing his voice, who a lot of you might remember from the Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon show. He voiced versions of Batman before. The whole Frankenstein post-credit scene is just meant to be a joke play on all the flashback scenes where the gypsy woman revived him back to health, with this gypsy woman doing the same thing, but him basically simping on the bride while eating a whole bunch of soup that winds up being a bunch of sparrow poop. Generally, it was a pretty solid series, but a really weird way to actually begin the DCU. But I think the only reason why it happened that way is just because of all the delays. Like, James Gunn didn't plan for this to be like the first canon DCU thing, it just wound up happening that way. But they did use it for a bunch of cameo scenes from like the new David Corenswet Superman, the new DCU Batman, the new Flash, the new Wonder Woman. So at least they were able to tease some connections to the live action stuff that's going to be coming the next couple years. What'll probably happen is they won't release season 2 for like 2 more years just because animation takes so long and they probably didn't start working on it till recently. Got a whole lot of Superman stuff and Supergirl stuff next year to worry about right now. Next big real DC series that we're getting episodes for will be Peacemaker Season 2. That'll air right after the Superman movie hits theaters, and then after that will be the live-action Green Lantern TV show, which of course I will do episode videos for. All my Peacemaker Season 1 videos I'll put in the links below down in the description. Everybody click here for all my new Superman videos, and click here for my brand new Flash video too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.